Okay, this is my first blog. I'm titling it Jesse Jackson is an Ass because Jesse Jackson is an ass. Today, I read that Jesse Jackson was in Ferguson, Missouri. If you are living under some type of rock somewhere and you don't know what's going on in Ferguson, then, Fergus, you don't know that. Police murdered a black man in cold blood. They have done everything they can to try and make it look like he was some big bad thug criminal who just happened to get shot from, picking up a surveillance tape that had nothing really to do with the shooting, to finding witnesses that the police officer who shot him told what happened to have them come to the scene. Okay, so Jesse Jackson goes down there because anytime something happens to black people, of course, Jesse Jackson has to go down there. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson just have to be on the scene. So instead of like coming down there and actually helping, he goes and starts raising and starts asking for donations for his church. I'll put the link to the video in the comments bar so you can see it. So he's asking for donations from an extremely poor black community for not anything that's going on with Michael Brown, but for his personal church. Now I'm sure in a day or two, he's going to come out and he's going to say, oh, this didn't happen, that it's not like it is. I mean, but this is the same man who, when he was running for president, said all the Jews in Town. So we're not talking about a reasonable individual. That's one of the problems with black leadership, is that most of the people who we have representing us are not reasonable individuals. They're greedy, they're manipulative, they're out for themselves, and they actually aren't doing anything. The reason why I have no respect for Jesse Jackson, why I really think Jesse Jackson is an ass, is because if he was a black leader that was worth anything at all, the stuff that is still perpetuated, that still goes on in the black community, would not be going on. He would be doing things like starting mentoring programs for young boys, feeding children, helping daycare costs in the ghetto. He would be doing things like that. He wouldn't be showing up in $1,000 suits every time somebody's murdered and asking people to chill out and donate money and let's have a candlelight vigil. That's not what he would be doing. He would be much more grassroots, actually doing something. One of the issues that the black community has is that we have no leadership. And the reason why we have no leadership is the powers that be have bought all the people who are supposed to be, like, who we're supposed to be looking out for. If you don't think that Jesse Jackson is bought and paid for, you're stupid as hell. If you don't think that Al Sharpton is bought and paid for, you're dumb as hell. The same people that pay Clarence Thomas pay Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. They are non-figureheads. They're actually non-motherfucking factors. All they do nothing preventative, nothing to stop the violence that is happening in our community, nothing to stop the animalistic way we're viewed in the media. Nothing to stop the fact that, like, being threatening as a black man is like a reason to be killed. That's it. Not even threatening someone. Just being threatening. And we do now know in this country, it's always been like this in this country, just being a black man is threatening. Especially now that we're not shucking and jiving in any sense of the word anymore. That is not excusable. That's why every 28 hours some black man is shot by some type of law enforcement. I mean, security guards are shooting black men because they feel threatened, and nothing is happening of it. Nothing at all. What's his name? Michael Dunn shot that brother for listening to, because he felt threatened by his rap music, and the jury had enough nerve to not prosecute him for first-degree murder, because in their heart, those people on the jury was predominantly white jury, decided that maybe he did feel threatened. I mean, he was kind of black, and that's what it amounts to. What we need are leaders who cannot be bought. What we need are leaders who are not fearful. Who don't think that who don't sit in a chair every 6 weeks and get a perm that costs it costs $100 something to go to the beauty shop. That's where, when we donate to like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all that shit, what we're doing is perpetuating that stereotype. We're being like we're being pimped on a really, I'm gonna try to think of a word, like politically pimped. We're being politically pimped by these leaders, because they're not doing anything. They're just figureheads. All their job is to come into communities and pacify people, and they do a pretty good job of that. So, like I said, Jesse Jackson is an ass. Al Sharpton is useless. Like, if I could, like, old style, like back in the day when they challenged people to a duel, I'd go up and, like, slap Jesse Jackson in the face with a glove and do the same thing to Al Sharpton, it would make my day. It would make me so happy. Just because, like, it's getting ridiculous. It's what's going on in the black community is getting ridiculous. How we're still not allowed, black men, especially black men, are still not allowed just to live. Like, I don't get it. And as a black woman that loves black men, it concerns me every day. It's the number. It should concern every person of color should be concerned about this, because because we have to. It should be on our minds. We should be working together. We need think tanks. We need credit unions. We need hospitals. We need our own stuff, because we know that it's not for us. I mean, let's really and seriously think about what happened in Ferguson. This police officer shot this 17-year-old boy 2 weeks before he was going to college, and let him lay there for 6 hours in the street. They let him sit in the hot sun, dead, for 6 hours in the street. Not an EMT.
Composition of our vibe artist, Milt Jackson.
Nobody came to check up on that. Nobody came to see why he was in the street, what was going on, because they had it all locked down. Because there are no black hospitals. There's no black police stations. There's no black coroner's offices. And so because of that, we're not free. We're just loose. We're loose in a very big pen, but we're still just loose. And until we get free, and unfortunately, what it takes to get free in this country is not marches and candlelight vigils. It's not. I'm gonna talk about that, and I think in another video, because what we're doing now is not working. It's not stopping black men from getting shot. And black women need to understand what's going on, and when they target our sons and our brothers like this, like what they're actually doing. It's still very much some Willie Lynch type shit. We're still getting lynched. And that's what you need to look at it at. It's like, not Every 28 hours, a cop killed. Every 28 hours, a black man is lynched in America. Every 28 hours. Rain, shine, hail, every 28 hours. Um, so like, what are we gonna do about it? Are we gonna talk about it? Are we gonna, like, hold hands? Are we gonna pray on it? Cause that's all been working really well. The praying is just, it's worked so great. The holding hands, the marching, the having vigils, it's been working very well for our community. Um, yeah. And if you believe that, I got a bridge in San Francisco I want to sell you. Um, it hasn't been doing well for our community. Like, it's been doing nothing. We're doing exactly what they want, which is like waiting to overcome. We're still, whether we realize it or not, mentally talking about swing low, sweet chariot. We're still waiting for massa to deliver us from something. For we're waiting for the handout. We're waiting for reparations. We're waiting for 40 acres and a mule. We're waiting to be acknowledged as human beings. We're waiting to be given something that we should have took a long time ago. A lot of a lot of what's going on in Fergus is about being able to militarize us, being able to send the National Guard out there and tear gas us and shoot us, because people are also getting shot daily in Fergus. Three people were shot yesterday. They're doing like the same thing they did in Vietnam, where they're arresting reporters, and so it's the same shit. So when you do the same thing and expect different results, that's crazy. Which means that right now, the black community is fucking crazy as a whole, because we keep doing the same shit and expecting different results. We keep waiting for Jesse Jackson to magically do something that's going to free us. We keep waiting for Al Sharpton to say something that is magically going to free us, when it's not. And right now, we live in a country where white men can strap AK-47s to their body, maybe 2 or 3 of them, arm themselves, bullets, everything, and go to Starbucks and ask for a shot of espresso, and that's all they get, right? But a black man can't go to Walmart and pick up a toy gun in the toy gun aisle and not get shot. So, what good is a march at this point? What good is a candlelight vigil? What good is Jesse Jackson? What good is Al Sharpton? They're not lobbying for our civil rights, They're not. This shit. If just think about this shit. This man goes down there. Now, the same man who was basically standing next to Martin Luther King when he got shot, right? Who has which is a whole nother thing. Who the first man to run the first black man to run for president, who, messed that up, like I said, with saying all the Jews in Hymietown. Go look that up. I think I was like 8 or 9 when he said. I was like, look. I remember looking at my mom like, did he really just say that? So, we're dealing with a man who is in essence an idiot. He's greedy. He's manipulative, and this is our figurehead. This is our figurehead. Al Sharpton. Those are our black leaders. But we don't. We choose that. We choose them collectively. They're more acceptable than, say, a Farrakhan, or or a Umar, or a Scheherazade, because they can be bought off. And I need you to think about that. Go listen to a Jesse Jackson speech and go listen to a Farrakhan speech, and you'll understand why Jesse Jackson goes out there every time and wants people to hold hands, and we think we shall overcome, and Farrakhan stays his ass at home and thinks about ways to get us out of this mess. I think that if you're a black man and you don't have a job right now, you should probably be on your way to Ferguson. You ain't got nothing to lose. They can shoot you anywhere. So they might you might as well get shot doing something, worthwhile. So I think that if you're a black woman who really wants to support black men, I think that what we need to do is really self-evaluate and look at what we're doing, and look at how we've kind of been led astray by the media and the powers that be, and kind of tighten our shit up because they, like, brothers aren't going to stop being killed until sisters support them enough to make them value their own lives to fight for them, and until we fight for them as well. And that does not mean candlelight vigils and marches and protests. Not at this point. We need to start thinking like a culture who loses a son every 28 hours. We need to start thinking like a village who is attacked randomly every 2 hours. A tribe that is invaded and attacked every 28 hours. That's what we need to start thinking about. So yeah, this is my first video. I know I was a little all over the place. I'll try to be more concise. Next time, if there's anything you would like me to expound on, I'd be more than happy to. Thank you, and it is what it is. Again, like I said, Jesse Jackson is an ass, and Al Sharpton is a fool.